Well, welcome to another episode of Triumph Dolomite Sprint Rally Car Restoration. Well, here goes nothing. Potential of stuffing this up is high, and what we can do is do the best we can, eh? I'll put plenty of oil in here. I hope that that it will help. That's going to be alright. Now I've got this rear oil seal that goes down in here. I've already put silicone and the gasket on it, and I won't bore you with my attitude to silicone, but again just putting a bit of rubber grease on the seal here so it goes on the crankshaft without any trouble and less likelihood of damage. The smell of silicone in the afternoon. Alright, this is oil pickup pipe, and goes on here. Now this sump's going on only temporary, no gasket, just to keep the dirt out for now. It's got a, I don't want to put the sump on until I got the front timing chain cover on. I think it just does it, yeah, it's all in one go then. Alright, time to put this jack shaft in, and now this thing runs the distributor. Normally run a oil, it runs the oil pump, I think. Yeah, it runs the oil pump, and distributor used to run the fuel pump, water pump. Well, it's another day, and it's time to put the water pump in. Now, these things are a bit of a bugger, but we'll have a go and see what happens. This is a 12 vein water pump. I'm not sure there's much difference between the 12 vein and the 6 vein, but these sort of general thoughts is that they're the better ones to have. I rebuilt this quite a long time ago. It's sort of was my spare water pump. Now, the TR7, which runs a dolly sprint motor, has got an electric water pump. I'm not entirely happy with that, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep it when I get to the VII's rebuild. I think I'll persevere for a little bit longer with it. I'm still sort of struggling with that one. It works, but it's disconcerting. The car seems to run hotter. Now it probably does that because the temperature is actually set and the electric water pump runs or doesn't run to keep the car at that temperature, where this is running all the time. So like on a cool night, the Tower 7 seems to run hot. But I guess that's because the pump's not actually working very much, and on this one it would be working and the car would run cool. It's disconcerting, and I'm just not used to it. And what you're supposed to do with these water pumps is put the cover on, and there's different thicknesses of gasket, and so you're supposed to bolt it all down with different gaskets, and I put bits of grease on the vanes and on top of this bolt here to try and determine how far it is. Look, over the years I've come a bit more blasé about it, and I'm not sure it really needs to worry too much. And so what I'm going to do is start off with the thickest gasket that comes with it. No silicone, no nothing at the moment, just going to bolt it on and see, just make sure that everything clears everything is my main concern, really. Because I don't want the vanes hitting this cover. Now you might sort of think that's a bit odd. Well, it is and it isn't. These corrode. All this gets very corroded, and this one had basically an enormous hole in it. So I got to weld it all up, and then I filed it as best I can to the shape. Now, there's probably purists out there that go, oh, that won't work. Well, it's worked before, so let's not get too worried about it. But I do want to make sure that everything clears everything. That's what's going to be the important thing. I think a lot of the overheating stuff that these engines sort of have a reputation for, and people sort of go on about the water pump and various things. I've had this car a long time, so I've come to the conclusion that the cooling system problems are more to do with making sure you've got a head of coolant above this water pump. Now the radiator is actually below this water pump, so you end up with no coolant at the pump. What's going on here? So anyway, in my attempt to deal with cooling problems, I put a header tank in this car. It's bolted to the strut brace and it's way up in the engine bay. I did a whole lot of other stuff at the time as well. You know, the car had an extra radiator in the boot and extra radiators that were actually heater cores in the engine bay, like a turbocharged car, flat like this. Made working on the car a hell. And look, that stayed that way for a very long time. And you know, anyway, I had another dolly that was my road car, which I wish I'd never had to sell, but anyway, that's a different story. Now, I didn't go down that track. I was going down that track. I put the header tank in, and that was as far as I got with it. And the overheating problems went away. So it suddenly dawned on me that really all it needed was this header tank. So during this restoration, all this other stuff that this car's had is coming out, and I'm just going to have the header tank in the hope. Well, that sounds pretty good. Doesn't sound like anything's hitting anything. So yeah, in the hope that I'm right and the header tank will be enough to solve that. I've also have put an extra fan. The radiator is covered in fans now. So all should be well in the cooling department. And so I'm not that fussed about this water pump as long as it's alright. It was good we had no noises then. Oh, but we do have grease on there. It might have just been a, oh yeah, no worries. There was a bigger blob of grease on there. I think that's what caught on there. Wasn't making any noise, so. Alright. Let's go with the silicone. This will be a very thin layer of silicone. I have had them leak around this gasket. Only ever once. It didn't develop as a leak, it leaked as soon as I put it all together. That was no silicone, it was just gasket gooey stuff. So I will use silicone in this case. Alrighty, let's get this on. Now the next thing to put on is this here that holds the distributor on. It doesn't matter which way it goes on. I'm not going to put the distributor in yet. I'll get the head back on first. Distributor will be one of the last things to go in. And one of the things you need to think about, I've done this, that's why. Dolly's engine, one of the Dolly's engines going way back, was rebuilt by somebody else. They gave it all back to me without the distributor in. I'm not sure why, but at any rate. And I put it all in the car, and I just sort of put the distributor in there, and of course the car wouldn't go. And it was sort of, what the hell's going on here? And lots of, not the hell, what the hell, what the hell, testing and checking, and anyway, in a box of parts that came back with the engine, you know, sort of bits that weren't used because they were no good and that. There was a shaft, I think it's a hexagonal shaft or a six-sided shaft. Well, anyway, that shaft belongs down in there, runs the oil pump and the distributor. And without that, the distributor ain't going around, and without that, it ain't gonna go. So, now I'm about to put the oil pump in, and you can't put it, if you put the shaft in with the oil pump, and then when you turn the engine up again and upside down or whatever, it'll fall out. So it's one of those things you do put in last. Oil pumps are where dollies leak a lot of oil. So this is a nice brand new one, therefore we shouldn't have the problem. They don't so much leak oil where this is, they leak oil out of here. So this being new, I'm hopeful that won't be a problem. I've bought this adapter doohickey so that this car has a spin-on filter. No idea what this filter's off. But anyway, I have to put this on first. To do that, I need this square sectiony sort of O-ring that comes out of a standard oil filter. So I've had to buy a standard oil filter as a sacrificial thing to get the O-ring. This is not replaced again, so it's not something you have to do all the time. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do to this engine after this, other than possibly put the engine mounts on. Don't ask me how I did it, because I ordered a swag of stuff. I thought of everything, but I didn't. I forgot timing chain sprockets. That'll be the fun. Yeah, like I said, there's not that much more to do. I think we'll pick this video up when the parts arrive. Well, this is as far as I've got so far. Pistons are in, crankshaft's in, jack shaft is in with unfortunately a second-hand sprocket on it. Water pump's on, oil pump, oil filter, rear seal, sump is on as a temporary sort of measure. And now, unfortunately, I'm waiting on parts. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of the Triumph Dolomite Sprint Rally Car Restoration. Tune in, same duck time, same duck channel, for more mechanical mayhem on the poor old dolly, when you'll probably see me finish putting this engine back together. I'm Quack McMullard. Bye for now.